Why did Frank start him, Craig?
Because Willie Caballero's the #2 goalkeeper. I mean, it's as simple as that, and he has been for quite a while now. And look, Chelsea have only themselves to blame here for the sending off, because Alisson rolled the ball out, and it was and as good a ball as it was from Henderson, it was a lob ball straight through the middle. Now, Manny makes a great out-to-end run, but you know what happened to blocking people or giving yourself a bit of depth? So they didn't do that, and they paid the penalty. So I mean, it came straight through the middle and the heart of the defence again. It's not been organised when you're on the attack, and Liverpool won it back, and it's just lack of game understanding. So all of a sudden, you've got one of the quickest players in the Premier League running in behind. Christensen's in a bad position. Chelsea are wide open, and you know clearly he pulled him back. It was a sending off. I'm actually at the stage now. I feel sorry for the goalkeeper. I really do. And I don't feel sorry for him because he's getting paid a lot of money and he's a big guy and he's a man and he should be taken on. I just feel sorry for him because it's crystal clear that he's not wanted. It's also crystal clear he's having a bad time. He's lost all his confidence, right? And when that happens to a player, it's tough. I've seen it. We've all seen it with players, good players, really good players who have a bad time. And so it seems like he's making a mistake and people are waiting for him to make a mistake, including his teammates and manager, every game. So in some sense, yeah, Lampard will have another decision to make if Mendy's not brought in, and there's talk about that. But I'm actually at the stage now, I just feel it's a guy that's having a really, really bad time. He's not trying to make mistakes, but clearly he is. And it's glaring in the public eye as it can be.
Frank?
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's maybe the first mistake from Frank is to keep on putting Kepa in goal, where, as Craig said, you know, the guy lost completely lost his confidence completely, and I think Caballero should play because the guy is in a big tension, you know, big pressure. It reminds me of Fernando Torres, but the problem is when you're a goalkeeper, you make a mistake, you're going to concede a goal. When you're a striker and you miss a chance, we say, oh, he missed a chance, maybe we give him another chance. Oh, he missed another chance, and he keep on going like that for almost years for Fernando Torres. But Kepa makes one mistake, makes the second one. We think about replacing it with a new goalkeeper, and we put the substitute, Caballero, and now he's completely lost. So we say, okay, well, the guy is really bad. We're going to sell him. I don't know how much we're going to sell him, but he's still on playing right now, but he cannot play because his head is in another planet. He doesn't feel football. He doesn't even live football. He's just wondering if he's still a goalkeeper. So he shouldn't play. He should get back to a shrink to see if he has the confidence.
Frank, you see more of French football than us. Is Mendy the answer? I mean, is he good enough to come in?
Well, comparing to what we see from Kepa, and as Stevie said, you know, Kepa is what he's doing the best. Mistakes, yes, Mendy is far much better than that. He had a very good season in Rennes, signed for Rennes, and a very good season with Rennes. So I am very confident that he can do the job, and much better than Kepa, and even much better than Caballero. So I don't know if there is another goalkeeper that Chelsea could find, but for that amount of money, yeah, it's kind of a bargain to have Mendy. He's a tall goalkeeper, very agile, and I'm sure he's going to do the job. But Kepa cannot do the job anymore. It's over.
One of the other interesting things, Dan, was the deployment of Kai Havertz today, which was slightly different from the opening match at Brighton, where he was wide and ineffective. I mean, I'm sure the lad's chasing his fitness and he's finding his feet in the surroundings, but he found himself, whilst he was on the field, in a more central role, with Werner at times playing a lot off the left, with Mason Mount moved on to the right. But again, he was underwhelming, I would say, at the moment. Not questioning his talent, but I think for the first two games, he's certainly a player that, you know, when Pulisic and Ziyech is fit, at the moment, he's going to be the one, I think, coming under threat because of his first two performances.
Stevie, how would you sum up the two new boys for Chelsea today?
100%. I agree with Craig. I think I feel a little bit bad for him because at the end of the day, if you're a forward, then you're relying on your midfield and particularly getting you the ball. And that just wasn't happening when they had 11 men, and it certainly was never going to happen with 10. So you know, in some ways, some of the responsibility is his, but in a lot of ways, the midfield of Chelsea just is not getting the forwards the ball as often as they should. So, consequently, somebody like Havertz is going to be absolutely ineffectual.
So
And sorry, Dan, that's the difference between the two players, Werner and Havertz. I mean, clearly Havertz is, you know, hasn't got the experience of Werner. Werner's not exactly ancient, I think, at 24, but he's way more experienced. But he's going to, when Chelsea are poor, like they were at times, then he's going to, as Stevie said, is going to make him look worse, because Werner's a busier player. He chases after things and makes things happen. He makes runs. He goes and gets involved. Havertz is not quite that kind of player, or certainly hasn't been in his very, very short time at Chelsea. He's almost reliant, as Stevie touched on there, in getting the support around him and getting the ball to him, and then maybe he can produce a bit of magic, where Werner, you know, almost with his busyness, goes and makes things happen. So in that essence himself, looks as if he's having a better game because he is so lively. But it's early days. It's just we've seen so much of these players in Germany producing some really good stuff, and Chelsea are going to be under pressure. Lampard's going to be under pressure with all these signings, that I think we were expecting, certainly from Havertz, even early on, just some glimpses of that magic we knew from Leverkusen, and we really haven't seen it up to this point.
You kind of wonder as well, Dan, Frank, in the back of Frank's head, he's got to be thinking, listen, when Pulisic's fit, who sits? Because I think you got to play Pulisic, and it would seem to me that clearly so far it's going to be Havertz. You know, Mason Mount does a lot of other work defensively that the other two can't do, and Werner's going to be playing. And as I said, when Pulisic's fit, he's going to be starting. He has to. So Havertz himself, and Frank must be thinking already, what's going to happen when Pulisic's fit? I think that's what's going to happen. Havertz is going to be sitting on his backside.
Liverpool, they're making
it.
But
Stevie, there will be another problem. Sorry, sorry, Dan. There will be another problem, because if you put Werner and you want to put Pulisic, you're going to put Ziyech on the other side. You will have to reinforce the midfielders and make sure that Kante will be with other good midfield defenders, where Jorginho and Kovacic are not. The players, they know how to play football, but they don't know how to defend. And that's going to be a problem. And Chelsea still have that problem. Okay, they signed Thiago Silva. It's going to be better defensively. Chilwell is a good attacking fullback. But I'm still worried about Chelsea when they don't have the ball. When they have the ball, they will have talents and no problem. When they don't have the ball, they're not a block. They're not very strong. And I'm wondering if they can handle. Remember last year how many goals they conceded? That was awful.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.